We are trying to change our behavior in urban environments. We are trying to turn our urban environments into social spaces. We want ownership of urban environments by human beings and not motor vehicles, because this is the original purpose for which cities were built. We also want to increase access to the primary sports in urban environments to simple business people. So the CBD is not a place for the affluent only. And we also want to increase the provision of service, particularly for recreation and simple marketing to every Kenyan. And that is why we have come up with this concept of the car-free day. We've set aside Fridays and Saturdays as days where ultimately the entire CBD will be locked out for private vehicles and public vehicles. And the CBD, by the CBD I mean the area bounded by Uhuru Highway, University Way, Moi Avenue, and Haile Selassie in the long term. That is an area where we are hoping to bring on board 100,000 of what we used to call hawkers, but I think we are changing the term now. And we're either calling them itinerary traders or such other acceptable terminologies, 100,000, with an expected annual turnover of over 3.8 billion shillings annually. So that they can get the ajira we talk about, 3.8 billion shillings annually. And this basically translates to a daily earning of 39.5 million shillings. So every Friday when we open up, and every Saturday when we open up, Wednesday and Saturdays. Every Wednesday and Saturday when we lock out vehicles.
Wednesday.
Correction, Wednesday and Saturday. Okay.
Wednesday and Saturday.
Wednesday and Saturday. So every Wednesday and Saturday when we lock out the CBD from vehicles and public transport and only allow pedestrians or people in cycles, not motorcycles, bicycles, then we expect to be generating a business volume for the hawkers of 39.5 million shillings. Now, the sequencing of this activity is we'll have a pilot that we're going to roll out in a few days, actually on Friday, 1st of February. The pilot will cover a slightly smaller area. We'll be taking the area in front of Kenya Cinema, that is Moi Avenue, bounded on the southern side by Harambee Avenue. And then this area, this road that separates our insurance plaza and the law courts, and then City Hall Way. That is going to be a pilot area. In that pilot area, we've actually designed, and we've had a lot of discussions with many stakeholders and identified it can accommodate 5,000 itinerary traders. Now the traders are expected to trade in clean environments. So we've also gone ahead in partnership with about 39 stakeholders and what we are calling sponsors, who mainly comprise insurance companies and bankers who are volunteering to actually provide initial capital to roll out what we are calling easily assembled stores and dismantleable stores. We are anticipating to kick off with an initial target of about slightly over 5,000 stores, so that traders can come in with their stalls in the morning and assemble the stalls in different ways. You could be selling tomatoes, you could be selling your clothes, you could be selling shoes, so you need to assemble your stall in different days, in different ways, and these are all designed. And then in the evening, and by evening initially we are saying at about 4 o'clock, but in the long term we expect it to go on as long as there is demand for business. Then they can be dismantled and stored somewhere, and the city is kept clean. We've had very intense discussions with the Nairobi City County government about support services. So, and we now have a clear plan. The itinerary traders coming into a clean working environment. We are not going to trade on the floor. We'll trade on the stalls. And we are not going to pay for the CBD because we have cleaning services that have been organized. We have toilet facilities that have been organized. There is water that is organized. Part of the complementary activities by the existing business people is also to open up cafeteria services. So you'd expect people like Java to now expand their trading on those days into the streets. So the whole street becomes a social environment. We expect entertainers like Vitimbi. They can also come and make a bit of money. And you see these people who do entertainment over the lunch hour. Preacher men, of course, in a controlled manner. It is actually going to turn the CBD into a kind of a family environment. So this is what we are doing on the car-free days. To support the car-free day, we also have a secondary initiative that we are calling staggered working hours that we're also introducing, which will be rolled out when we do the bigger rollout in mid-February, after the pilot has been done in 1st of February. And what we've recognized in introducing staggered working hours is, first, government seems to be the main employer in this city, together with Nairobi City County Government, and that everybody tends to come to work more or less at the same time. So it's like you're putting water through a bottle with a very narrow neck. So again, we've been doing very thorough studies, and we've established that if we can stagger the working hours, so we have half of the population that is working in government and Nairobi County Government coming to work from 7 in the morning and leaving at 4 p.m. And then the other half comes at 9 and leaves at 6 p.m. We will be able to reduce traffic congestion by as much as 20%. So these are some of the initiatives we put in place. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.